Hi, thank you for joining the Autistica virtual stall. This is the team. Sorry we can't be there to meet you in person. We're the UK's national autism research charity, and we exist to give every autistic person the chance of a long, happy and healthy life. In this short film, we thought we'd share some of our research and campaigns with you, and also some of the advice and tools that we provide for autistic people and families. We'll also talk about how you can join our Discover network to hear more about autism research and how you can get involved. Here's Malcolm, who's a member of Discover. He's really passionate about how research can change the lives of autistic people.
I get involved because I want to change perceptions, I want to change and heighten awareness, and I want to make life better for people like me. For me, it was kind of like an epiphany moment. It was, wow, that's me. It was a relief, actually. It really was a relief to learn. I mean, I'd been called all sorts of things, from brusque and rude, the little man syndrome, you know, all sorts, and kind of, well, okay, that's obviously me. And then the more I kind of looked into the condition, I recognised it in members of my family as well. Despite any difficulties I've had, and I've had some, I've managed to become a registered nurse. I served with the Army Medical Services since 1984. I became a major. People can do stuff, and I wanted to make sure that Lauren didn't take the negative side of disability and concentrate on the things that she couldn't do rather than the things she can do. So evidence is the key. Without evidence, nothing changes. Without evidence, no money will follow a service. Without evidence, no service can be established. It's a case of being involved and telling people what you need, what you want, or other people telling you what you're going to get.
We fund research projects up and down the country. Here's one of our projects at the University of Newcastle that's exploring how the NHS could provide annual health checks for autistic people.
So I'm Jeremy Parr, I'm a clinical academic at Newcastle University, where I work in the NHS as well, and I lead a consortium who are working around health checks for autistic people that are going to be delivered through primary care. This is a co-design project where we're working with autistic people and NHS clinicians right from the very start to think about what sort of health check might be useful for people in primary care. We've got a design phase, and then as we go on, there's then a trial to evaluate the health check to see whether it's effective in terms of improving people's access to healthcare, people's health in the long run, and also looking at value for money in relationship to NHS spending. The aims of the project are to identify whether a health check delivered through primary care is effective for improving people's health and whether it's value for money. And of course, like most research projects, we don't know what we're going to find at the very beginning, but in the long run, we'll be informing whether the National Health Service should be providing a health check to help identify health conditions for autistic people.
As well as funding research, we also try to change perceptions about autism. Here's one of our campaign films, which aim to help the public understand a little bit more about autistic people's experiences of the world.
A lot of things in the world don't make sense right now. But when you're autistic, the world has always seemed a bit, well, complicated. Don't get me wrong, there are times when we get it, or when people get us and see that our differences can be a good thing. But mostly we have to find our way in a world that wasn't built for us. The people, the chatter, the noises and smells. All the unpredictable stuff that you don't even notice. We notice all of it. Our minds are racing, trying to deal with everything hitting us all at once. The pressure builds and builds. It squeezes. It makes it hard to function. We find ways to cope, but it might be hard for you to understand. We're trying to fit in every day because we have a lot to offer in this world. We need to understand these experiences, and research is finding ways to make our world a bit easier.
We think research involving autistic people can really change the future. That's why we're funding this citizen science project with the Alan Turing Institute.
My name is Kirsty Whitaker. I'm a data scientist and a research fellow at the Alan Turing Institute, which is the UK's National Institute for Data Science and Artificial Intelligence. I'm delighted to be the lead investigator of the Autistica Turing Citizen Science Project. We know that autistic people have challenges navigating a world that was not built by autistic people and for autistic people. We want to use citizen science in a participatory framework to raise up autistic voices and educate non-autistic people on how they can change their behaviour and change the world to be more inclusive and enabling of autistic people. What you'll do when you interact with the project is see a website, and it will ask you if you had any difficulties or if there were any particularly good aspects of going around about your day-to-day life. Maybe travelling on the tube in the morning during rush hour is particularly tough. Or maybe having back-to-back meetings in a really brightly lit room is hard as an autistic person. We want to collect the stories together, and we want to share them with other autistic people so you can support each other and feel a little bit less alone, and teach people like myself who are not autistic what we can do to better support the huge diversity of autistic people around the world. When I say that it's a participatory citizen science project, what I mean is that we are designing every aspect of the project in partnership with autistic people and their families and caregivers. That means that we have focus groups and we have opportunities online for people to share their feedback and design the research together. It's so important to fund autism research to allow autistic people to be the very best that they are able to be and live longer, happier, healthier lives.
We take research beyond academic papers and turn that evidence into practical advice and tools for autistic people, families, and the professionals that support them.
Better mental health support is a top priority for autistic people and their supporters, but mental health services often exclude them. Molehill Mountain has been developed to help autistic people build the knowledge, confidence and skills they need to live better with anxiety. We co-designed the app with researchers, autistic people and developers. Users of the app can complete a mindful activity of popping their worries, track their progress, learn about anxiety through daily tips, and share their progress with a supporter. It's free to download for Android and iOS, so check it out now.
Recently, we've also been putting out advice, live expert webinars, and lots of web content in reaction to the coronavirus pandemic that we know our community has really been struggling with. Unlike some charities, we don't get any government funding, so we rely on people like you to support the work that we do. Right now, fundraising is more difficult than ever before, and our income has gone down. If you can fundraise for us, or maybe set up a small monthly gift, we'd be so grateful. Visit our website or get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for visiting the Autistica store. This film will repeat in a few seconds.